Well, good afternoon. My name is Marcus Beauregard. I'm the Director of the Defense State Liaison Office, and I wanted to give you an update on military spouse licensure, particularly because this is Military Spouse Appreciation Month, and we know that employment is a really big part of what we need to do to take care of our military families. And so my office has been working with state governments to improve spouse license portability, being able to transfer a license from one state to another. One of the things that we've found is that interstate compacts have been very, very successful at doing that. They allow a military spouse in a profession to be able to establish a home state for their license and then be able to use that license in all other member states that belong to a compact without further licensing. The federal government, the Congress, has also seen that compacts could be a very beneficial way to help military spouses. And oh, by the way, all other practitioners in a particular profession. And so the Congress gave us authority and appropriation to establish more compacts. And to do that, we've created a cooperative agreement with the Council of State Governments, who operate something called the National Center for Interstate Compacts. And at this time, I want to introduce the director of the National Center of Interstate Compacts.
Thanks, Marcus. Hi, everyone, and thank you for your family's service to our country. And yes, as Marcus mentioned, my name is Dan Logston. I'm the director of the National Center for Interstate Compacts at the Council of State Governments. The Council of State Governments is a membership organization for states. So every state's a member, every state pays dues. We were established in 1933 at the University of Chicago. We're not there anymore, as you can tell by my accent. We're south of there now. In the 60s, they were running out of room at the University of Chicago, so they put out a bid to the states, and Kentucky had the best offer, and so that's why the Council of State Governments is now headquartered in Lexington, Kentucky. We have regional affiliates, Midwest, South, East, and West. We also have the CSG Justice Center, which works on criminal justice issues. And we have the National Center for Interstate Compacts. We've worked on interstate compacts since our founding. We don't own interstate compacts. They're just agreements between and among states. Compacts have been around since before the founding of the Republic. There was a provision in the Articles of Confederation for interstate compacts. In the Constitution, there's the Compacts Clause. Originally, states used these to work out their boundaries and work out access to waterways. In the 20th century, you saw the rise of administrative compacts where states came together around certain issues that they believe the states had primacy over. And in the last half of the 20th century, in the 1990s, compacts started venturing into occupational licensure with the Nurse Licensure Compact. And so currently there are 9 existing licensure compacts. So nursing, physical therapy, OT, occupational therapy, counseling, psychology, EMS personnel, speech pathologist and audiologist. That's one compact. Advanced practice nursing, and then there's a compact for physicians as well. And we were a part in either creating those or played an advisory role in creating those licensure compacts. As Marcus stated, we now have a cooperative agreement with the Department of Defense to create more licensure compacts. They have to obviously benefit military spouses, but the Congress and the Senate Armed Services Committee was very generous in saying, it can impact the profession at large, but you have to have that provision in there about military spouses, which thankfully isn't a big lift because all the compacts have provisions around military spouses. The first one to use the best practice language that we developed with the Department of Defense that Marcus spearheaded, was the Speech Pathology and Audiology Compact. And thus far, all the compacts that we've created after that use that language. And I believe a couple of the compacts is just use that language and put it into their rules. So again, all these licensure compacts want to benefit military spouses. We're currently working as a part of the DoD cooperative agreement. We're beginning work now with the teaching profession, which will be the first profession outside the health field, cosmetology and barbering, social work, massage therapy, and then we've also selected dentistry. We're going to get started with them later this year. So looking to do another round of professions sometime next first quarter of next year, go through the selection process. We issue an RFP in a manner of speaking, and then the professions respond to that, why they should be selected, and that's how we got to the professions we want. So if you're in a profession that's not among the group I just listed, be on the lookout for that. And I would encourage you to encourage, if you've got your profession has an association of state boards or a large membership organization, or reach out to them and ask them to apply. These licensure compacts, they take a while to do, but they're built to last. They're embedded in statute. The way an interstate compact becomes law is that it's enacted like any other law. So it goes through the legislature and it's allowed to become law by the governor, either over their signature or they actually sign the bill. And typically these compacts create an interstate commission. They also have a data system component for public protection. All these licensure compacts require an FBI fingerprint-based criminal background check. Legislators want to see that because they believe that a profession is getting this sort of modified borderless practice. There ought to be a little bit of an elevated standard, but that's certainly not a high standard. A lot of states have state background checks for their licensed professions, and we do believe they are the best mechanism. As Marcus can tell you, states have been very active in this, and they want to help military spouses, but in practice, sometimes there's some struggles. Some states do it better than others, but just because the legislature passes a bill doesn't mean it's going to be carried out exactly like they want it to be, and that's really not the case with interstate compacts. These are binding contracts that all the states agree to, and their provisions are protected by the federal judiciary. So you've seen these work for since over 200 years. They've got a proven track record, and that's why we believe they're the best means to achieve mobility and portability for military spouses.
Thank you very much, Dan, for that rundown. I always learn something when you talk, because you're such a master at being able to articulate these things, because not everybody understands what a compact is. And it's surprising, even legislators who have dealt with them before have to be educated once again how these things actually operate. The fact that they don't lose their sovereignty or their ability to oversee a license profession, but they get to share that responsibility with other states and in actuality improve their oversight of that particular profession, as well as allow a lot more flexibility for the practitioners.
Yep.
I just wanted to give everyone some perspective on how these things are working right now in the states, how at least our efforts working with states have shown the level of participation of states. Right now, we've got 40 states that have at least one compact. We don't track the physicians compact because the nature of that compact is a little bit different. It's not like I said where you get a home state license. Theirs works very differently. So we haven't been tracking that one. But of the 8 that we have been tracking, 40 states have at least one. 26 states have at least 3 of them. So there is a growing participation in these compacts. This year has been quite productive. Right now, we have 90 bills in 31 states, and we already have 17 bills that have been enacted to support compacts. So these things are coming along. I'm not here to say that this is going to happen overnight. This takes quite a while because you have to get all the states to approve it. But once you get a majority of states involved in it, the membership aspect of this makes license portability so much easier. In the interim, the department is also working with states to improve their individual state licensing processes to make them as best as they can be to support military spouses who are coming into the state who are then going to get a new license. Right now, we've established sort of a minimum standard, a benchmark that says a military spouse should be able to get a license, could be a permanent or a temporary license, within 30 days of application, and that application should be streamlined. It should not be all the verifying documents up front. That may have to occur, but only after you get that initial license lets you get out there and get a job. So we see that as an interim process until these compacts become robust. And then you get your home state license, you move around the states. So we're very excited about the processes that we've got with CSG to increase the number of compact professions. And we see that the selection that has been made thus far, the 5 that Dan talked about, are going to cover quite a few military spouses in terms of their ability to continue with a career, which is an important part of family life, is being able to have a career while you're associated with the military. What we'd like to do is offer an opportunity to you all to ask us some questions. Obviously, you can't do that live, but if you can go to the chat and post a question, we'll get back to you. So we appreciate hearing from you. Hopefully this has been informative, and we're excited to be able to do things that can hopefully make a difference in your life. So thank you very much. And thank you for all that you do out there as a member of a military, as a family member, and supporting our service members. And we hope that you have a great day. Thank you.